Okay, let's try that again. I might have to be Mr. Brutus here and just ram it in there without sticking myself. Man, there it goes. Yeah, jeez. You see that? That's how it just automatically holds up there like that. I guess I should have been strategic about that and pushed it up in the right direction, huh? Okay, I guess I can twizzle the wire. Okay, I can do it there. Okay, just like that. Now I can push it over that way as far as it'll go. I got plenty of room for my mounting screws, plus my ground screw is not hitting any wood, it's just off of the edge. Beautiful. And so now I can bolt that in there. Wow, you see how that's working? Look at that. You no need to pay an electrician to do something you can do yourself. Do I really have to show this part? Screw it in there. I'm going to try using their screws that they gave me, and I might have to pre-drill the stud, but we're going to see. We're going to see, all right. Jeez. Because it's probably 30 years old. Okay. It's good to have extra bits too, because sometimes you might think one's too big, and you put that in your tip and try it on your screw, and you think, oh, son of a gun, that works. Wow, those are good screws. Plenty. You know, could I do it with just the 2 screws? Yeah, probably. I'm going to put another one in there just for safekeeping. I guess I could put it here where that's where the ground screw hole was, but there's another one over there. I don't know if I can get it into that. You see, if you needed to use that, if this screw didn't go through, you could drill that out with the drill bit, because remember, we've got another joist over here. I'll just see what happens. Okay. Wow, that is not going to come down. An elephant could hold on to that and not fall with those 3 screws. So the ceiling fan is not that heavy. It's only it's a 42 inch, by the way, in diameter. And you can get them much bigger than that. The bigger they are, the heavier they are too. You know, this one is not that heavy. That will be fine. Okay, so now I guess I can get back up there. Ooh, I'm all out of breath. And see, remember, that's where the ground screw hole is. And I have that just set strategically up there. And that's where my ground wires are going to attach to that screw. That's the proper way to do that. Okay, I'm going to leave that like that. Now I can strip this wire and stuff. Because I strategically located this, I had all my mounting screws here, I had the ground screw set over there, I had the knockout over there, the little notch over there. You see that? Looks like it was meant to be. Well, since you're right here, and I'm right here, I'm going to strip this. I've got my sheetrock knife, and it's not very sharp, so I got to be careful here. I hold my hand up above it. Okay? Don't have your hand way down here and think, okay, I'm going to stop right there, and then you miss and go, oops, and you cut your tip of your finger or your thumb or whatever. So I'll hold my hand down here, start up at the top, and come down a little bit, then hold my hand up above it. See? If it was a little sharper, I wouldn't have to push as hard. Yeah, I should change my blades, what I should do. The tip of it broke off from before. I was doing something. I retracted it, my sheetrock knife. Now I can pull that. It looks like I need to score it just a little bit more. And I'm not going to need the wire this long or anything, you know, but because I've got it that long, that's fine. For now, I can cut it back. Okay, so I can hold that, stretch the back bit, and use your knife and kind of saw it off like that. Take that paper off. Okay, that looks fine. Now there's more paper around the ground wire. You can take that and you can cut that off, or if you want, if you're in a box, you can't reach in there, you can take this and sometimes lift up on it just a little bit and then pull down. You should be able to snap it off. Sometimes people try to pull on it and then it rips down here or something. So let's try that. Lift up on it and pull. And that's how that works. Hey, we're ready for the next step. What is the next step, by the way? We could work on this ceiling fan, or we could work on this box over here. You know, either way, maybe we should work on the box. What do you think? Let's work on that box. Now you remember how that box came off? Here's your box. You know, there's the two screws. I've got those in my hand here. And then see, it fits on this bracket. This bracket fit over a bar up there, and then that slides back and forth. But once you fish this up onto the bracket and screw it in, then that sucks tight, and then it's not going to go anywhere. Plus, it's not going to go anywhere once we get it pushed right up in that hole again, right? But here's the trick. This silly thing here is on that slide, and it's just loose up there, so I got to hold it just right, push this up against it, you know, very gently, and then fish a screw up there. And as I'm putting the screw in, this is going to want to lift up. Do you know what I mean? So, see, I'm going to have to put the screw up from underneath this way, and see how I'm going to get that attached. I may have to try to put this up there and maybe put some masking tape around it, kind of funky, or a little, maybe I could take a little, like a zip wire, or I don't have a zip wire. I've got some, I just happen to have a little piece of wire. Look at this. It's a little, let's see here. I don't know why I save these, but maybe I save it for this. See, it's just a little wire. It was off of a little cord, and I saved it. Well, see, I could hold that up there and put it down on the slide, and then I could take this around it and attach it, you know, like that. Just tight enough, but I can still kind of slide that. Then I can fish the screws up there, and this thing's not going to pop off. I think that's what I'm going to do, by Joe. Now here's the other thing too. Remember, we had two existing wires up there, and those two wires came in through those holes. Well, now I have a third wire, and I don't really want to fish it over on this side. I mean, I guess I could, but what I could also do is I could make these holes. I could cut this hole up bigger so I can fish two wires in one in the other, or I could cut this out, or what have you, okay? So I'm gonna refabricate this box just a little bit, and then I can shove it up in there. You know what? Before I go much further, I'm going to clean up all my mess first, rather than track it in all over the place in the rest of the condo. Just kind of be aware of what you're doing, clean up periodically, and keep the place clean and safe. Well, I finally got it. It took me about an hour and a half because that little U-shaped bracket was dangling there. I had to put electrical tape around it because that little wire that I had still kept pushing up, and I still had to try and try and try. I must have tried 75 times at least. I even had to change my clothes because I got all sweaty. But I got it. And you know what? along the way, I even created a few new cuss words. Okay, so something simple now. All I'm going to do is I'm going to attach all the blacks together. I'm going to take all the black wires. I'm going to have to strip this wire back, cut it off, and all the black wires together under a wire nut, the whites under a wire nut, and the grounds under a wire nut. Okay, that's what I'm doing next. Simple. Make sure that light switch stays off. You've used wire strippers before, right? Use your wire strippers and strip the wires off, put the wire nuts on there. And I'm using red because I'm connecting 3 wires together, and that's 12 gauge wire. If that was 14 gauge, I could have got away with yellow wire nuts, which are a little bit smaller. Okay, keep it going. Now that's what your existing light fixture box is going to look like. See, we're just utilizing that as a junction box for our ceiling fan. Okay? Because we had to do something with those wires. I couldn't get up in the attic. And now we've got to cover that. What are we going to use? Kaboom. See that? It's pre-finished white cover plate. There's 2 screw holes on here, and they actually have smaller screws apart. You know, in case your box is smaller, you'd have to kind of pop out these other holes, and then you'd have to fill these up with white caulking or something. And I chose this. This is plastic, by the way. I chose that because we're in Maui. Believe it or not, yes, we're in Maui, and the salt air gets everywhere. And after a while, and plus, we're in by the shower, right? Okay, so what's going to happen if you put a metal cover plate on there? Eventually it's going to rust. Well, this plastic one is never going to rust. Okay, so I'm going to screw that up there. And if you noticed where that light fixture was before, see that ring around there? Ring around the collar. Yeah, that's right. That's because the ceiling was painted after the light fixture was up there. A different color was put up there. And now somebody's going to have to match up that paint. Not quite sure if they have that paint color or not, because see, this trim piece right here is more than likely not going to cover that. Let me just lift it up there and see. You see what I mean? It's going to be right like that, and I measured these holes 3.5, and there's the 2 holes here. Okay, isn't that going to look nice? Be like that. Once this gets painted, this is going to kind of blend right into the ceiling because it's white. You know, they have different colors of that, and you know, you could put a white one up there. If your ceiling's a different color, you could paint this the same color as your ceiling if you wanted. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with that, and that's going to fix and finish up that junction box. Oh, isn't that nice? What they gave with this, they gave on the back 2 screws, mounting screws, you know, that are white. And I'm going to use those for here. Okay, those are white. All right. And what would have happened if you use those other 2 holes? Remember, I said you knock those out and put caulking there? Well, my mistake. They even went the extra mile. Look at this white little cap. See that? If you had to use these 2, you take the white cap and you'd put it right there and you'd push it in. And that would cover up those whiter holes. Nice. Now, not all hardware stores are going to have this exact same one. You know, go to your hardware store, find something that's going to work for your job, and do it.